listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The ecosystem approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. Today, we're talking about a whole list of things in the, quote, blow your mind category. As you know, we've been channeling the famous Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, who are from the future. But today, we're also going to talk more about Elennor, who is from the past, and how all of these personalities are working with each other, or not. Yes, there is some friction, and we'll talk about how dark energy is responding to being outed and exposed. At the end, we'll tell you some of the Alliance's agenda going forward. How will you respond to this new knowledge? Jason, how outing the dark energy is affecting us? Explain that to us.
Well, it's it's funny because we see this very clearly.
Okay.
And this is part of what we've known about for a long time. The truth is, we're doing well. Our health is good. We've got some really good health news that says, "Oh, you guys should be breaking down," but in fact, we're
actually, it's not. That's not happening.
Just the opposite.
Yes.
And we're very happy about channeling Bashar. And this is the first time Bashar, Abraham, and Seth. We've been calling him Bass just for short because it's too long.
I was wondering if you were going to explain that, but
yeah, Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, and
then when we include Elennor,
yes,
we call all of them Base. Wow, that's kind of I'm going to say what is it, apropos?
Yeah, well, it's fun, so
Yes,
it's easier for us. So because we talk about him so much,
we do.
But as we've been doing this, and we've been outing the dark and outing the fact that just like when we first connected with them, we've been waiting for you. Right. You have the missing piece. That's the first time we've been actually validated.
That is correct.
In the 25 years that we've been doing this work from the outside.
Yes.
Any sort of outside at all. And because you would think people would be, now our clients have said, "Oh, this is amazing. This is great.
Thank you very much." Things like that. Yes, by all means.
But they always talk about in reference to themselves, that this is work for themselves.
Yes.
In ways that other things may not have.
Right.
But we really haven't had any sort of external validation because we've been operating from our essence. We know this is right. We know what we're doing is right on. Yeah. But so here's what's been happening. I mean, we have to be honest.
Okay.
We've been filled with these thoughts of doom. We've been struggling with depression, hopelessness, bad dreams, this idea that it's not good enough. You're going to be the fear. Something bad's going to happen.
Correct.
You can't expose the dark like this.
Correct.
You're going to be cursed. All these things.
Right.
And we know in the moment that it's not true.
Yes.
But we still feel it. It comes through that channel.
That negative energy has always come through.
Right. It's that voice in your head that you want to say, shut up. It's like a gnat or a mosquito that's just
that's professional.
You. Yeah. But it's actually more. It's heavier than that. It's more intense than that.
That's true.
And
it's true.
We wake up and we're having a bad dream. And why are we having a bad dream? There's no reason for it.
No. And it's kind of, Jason, I just have a story, and I'll try and keep this really really short. To make a long story short, more than 50 years ago, I was diagnosed by. Let me start with this. I'm sorry. I've been a dancer all of my life, and I was diagnosed more than 50 years ago with rheumatoid arthritis. I'm sure I've told this story before, but on a scale from 1 to 10, they said I had a 7 for rheumatoid arthritis progressing rapidly. And by the time I was 30, I would live in a wheelchair. Well, I have to tell you, I didn't believe it, didn't want to believe it. And so since that time, I had changed diet. I had done so many things to make a difference in my life. About
So
four.
so you're past 30 now.
Uh,
Just so the audience knows. So yeah,
Wait,
anyways.
a little. Anyway, a few months ago, about 5 months ago, I started having pain in that leg, in that knee. That was, I mean, it got to be scary. So, I see a chiropractor, an amazing chiropractor, on a regular basis. When you can, let's put it this way, this is a place where I really take care of myself. And so I went to see my chiropractor and I said, hey, could you do me a favor? I'm really in a lot of pain. Will you adjust this? He said, when's the last time you had that x-rayed? And because it was the first time I'd complained about the pain, but it was the worst it had been in almost forever, it felt like. And he said, I won't touch you until you have an x-ray. And I went, what?
Well, and so let me see if I can get to
The point,
yeah,
yes.
okay. It's the idea is that we went to an orthopedic surgeon
After a big hoopla
and
type
he
thing.
took an x-ray, he took a number of x-rays of
Right.
different views. You expected that he was going to suggest a knee replacement.
Right, exactly.
And and so he said,
He said, I not only have good news, I have great news. And I was like, excuse me. And he said, first off, you do not have rheumatoid arthritis. And I was like, wait a minute, what?
there's no indication.
There's no indication. That was the first thing. The second thing that he said, your bone structure right now today, zero deterioration, which that's what rheumatoid arthritis can do. And he said, you have the bone structure of, well, I would say barely, if maybe 40. And I'm like, what? And I mean, I honestly could not believe it. And the reason that I'm saying all of this is I used the clearing. I used removing negative energy to change what the outcome I was told would be. I used it to change it,
But the point, but
and it
the
worked.
point we're trying to make in this segment
Okay,
is
is
that we've been getting all this. It's not good enough.
yeah,
We're doomed.
you're gonna have
It's
to have a knee replacement.
your body's breaking down.
Yeah,
We're not doing
you're
well.
getting old,
It's
things like
it's
that.
all
Yeah.
been a lie, which is
Yes.
part of the Dark's playbook.
Yes.
So someone recently told us there was too much. We suggested, removing some of the negative energy. Said there's too much dark energy attached here. She could never clear enough to overcome it. So,
Right.
so it shouldn't say it explicitly, but it was implied. Why bother? That's the dark. That's its playbook. It makes
And
you
it's not
hopeless. It
okay.
wants to make you hopeless that,
Yes.
oh, you're wrong, you're bad, you're failing.
Yes.
It's never good enough. The
Exactly.
judgment comes in.
Yeah.
That's the playbook for the dark, and it happens over. And we're getting it's dumping on us, and so it comes on us, and usually we have each other, and so hopefully only one at a time, but sometimes it's been
Sometimes it's
both
been
of us,
both. Yes, we
you know,
admit. Um,
and we just keep clearing it. So
and I'm going to make one more point here. The bottom line is that when you're hopeless, when you get hopeless, when you think, oh my gosh, everything's wrong. The first thing to do is realize that you are being manipulated.
when you understand the dark's playbook, you say, "Oh
Yes.
yeah, I understand this. It's playbook.
Well,
That's a
I
it's
think
a
it's a really good way
it's
to
a
say it.
football term, really.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
when you understand how the dark works,
Yes.
when you understand it does the same thing over and over again, then you
Right.
start to say, "Oh, I've seen this before. I've been here before."
Well, let me ask the question. What do we do to overcome dark and negative energy, Jason?
So, first of all, we try and connect to that place within us. And frankly, a lot of people, and I know this because we've worked with so many people for over the years,
Yes.
we try and connect to that place within us that's us.
Yeah.
That's our essence, our
Authentically honest.
soul.
Yes.
And that's where the power is.
Yeah.
And we try and clear away the doom and the hopelessness and the, oh, this isn't good enough and you're
Correct.
failing and you're wrong and you're
Mhm.
bad, all those things. We clear that away. But we've also, there's another part of this that we've been doing that really empowers the clearing that we do.
Correct.
And we've been talking about clearing since the beginning, which is a way of manipulating, removing negative energy.
Correct.
But what really has power is go to the dark, to the place where the dark is, and clear the power that it has. So what we've been clearing
Yes.
is the power that the dark has to make us feel depressed, the power that the dark has to make us feel hopeless and judgmental about ourselves,
Yes.
our own self-judgment, any form of being a victim, any fear or worry that we
Yeah.
have, any power that that fear or worry has over us. So when you start clearing the motive, oh my gosh,
Well, and I
it
mean,
has no power.
that's exactly right. When you start clearing the motive, what happens is you start to get to the root
Yeah.
of where that negative energy is. And I'm going to go back to the beginning story and say that thing about my knee and all of those things. The bottom line is that's where the negative energy stored itself in my body. And for all those years, did I see that that's what that was?
Well, and you've been afraid that
Totally.
you were going to have knee surgery, knee
Well,
replacement,
that's
all
right.
those things
Right.
for a long, long time.
Exactly. So I just want to say the clearing works,
Well,
everyone.
and when you work at the motive, when you work at the root cause and the
Correct.
power that that motive has over you,
Yes.
and most people don't know the motive, that's okay. If you're listening right now and you say, I don't know what the motive is, I have this feeling of hopelessness. I have no idea. Just begin clearing, clear the hopelessness, the sadness,
And
the
the motive,
hurt.
the motive will show itself.
Yes.
So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
Whenever you seek to move forward in a way that helps you evolve and overcome dark energy, there is always pushback or what
Yes.
we call a polarity response.
Right.
It's important to understand the motives of the dark.
Yes.
So when you clear it, you work with the energy of the dark that you clear. That's the source of the power,
Yes.
which is always the motive.
Yes.
Remember, dark energy has a consciousness and has a motive.
Yes.
Clearing the motive goes to the heart of the power of the dark.
Exactly. In the next segment, we're going to talk about all the personalities of the Bashars, Abraham, Seth, and now Elennor, and that they are not easily mixing and getting along. Oops. This is
What a
the
soap opera. Yeah, what a
this
soap opera.
is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about all the personalities of Bashars, Abraham, Seth, and now Elennor, and how they're not easily mixing and getting along. So, Jason, we know that the Bashars have conflict.
Yes. One of the interesting backstories about this is the Bashars. Now,
Yeah.
remember, when we first started listening to Daryl Anka, you heard that it was like there was someone else, there was another part of that of Bashar that was trying to come through.
Well, and what I heard was that there was three different voices, or I could say inflections on words that Daryl was. We saw a program about him channeling, and I thought, what is that? I stopped and asked Jason to play it back, and what I saw was that there was three Bashars or three different sections of
Levels.
Bashar, level of Bashars, and I thought it was very, very, very interesting, and
Could you ask me? I wonder if he knows that which Bashar he's talking to.
yeah, oh, is that what I said?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I didn't remember that exactly, but I could see with great clarity that there was a difference. And yes, I admit I do detail very detailed when I'm doing things like this. And but I found it to be interesting that Daryl doesn't see, or that I know of, Daryl doesn't see that, and I labeled them one, two, and three Bashar. And the one Bashar, or Bashar one, um, doesn't want to have anything to do um,
with what we're doing,
at
this
all.
alliance, but
At all.
or even acknowledging that
Yeah.
there was something missing.
Yes.
I think he knows, but he doesn't care. What he wants is that in his mind, we see this, part of his personality, that I'm doing well.
Yeah.
So let's
So,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
right.
He doesn't care. The other Bashars are embarrassed.
Yeah.
The other two have literally told them, but here's the main point. Oh my gosh, this is what
Okay.
is so interesting about this,
Okay.
okay? That they asked us to clear Bashar 1 and get him in line. Not that you would think that they would have done it, right?
Well, that's what I would have thought,
But it
but
has to do with free will.
yeah,
And we know, and they know, and we're starting to talk about it, that our ability here on earth as human beings to have free will, we have the ability to manifest or create, to work with energy in a way that is far more powerful than they do in the non-physical dimension.
exactly, exactly. And I want you, they can connect with us, but well, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. They can connect with us, which is great, but they can't do the same thing. They can't take the same energy actions
This is
that we can.
this is so radical
Yes, it
because
is.
so many people have come to me and said, well, I had I had this angel come to me, or one
Yes.
of my
Yeah.
guides helped me with this, or
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Right.
Like they're in the non-physical dimension, and
They're
they've
ex-
got
and they're
like
exalted.
they're exalted and they're pulling the strings here on earth.
Yes.
It's just the
It's
opposite.
not true.
We're the ones that are pulling the string.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
so if a miracle happens, so to speak, and we know that does happen,
Yes, we
it's
do.
coming from sources here, not
Correct.
sources there.
Yes.
And we've been taught, and this is part of our religious training, that oh my gosh, we pray, and the non-physical dimension, God, how we believe God will bless us and
Yes.
give us,
Yes.
and that we just are passive recipients of whatever is given. That's not true.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is it's maybe hard to get your head around it. If you don't agree, that's okay, but keep listening,
Yes.
because if you're
There's
here
more to
now,
come,
oh my
truly.
gosh,
Truly. Well, Jason, let's talk about Elennor for just a moment. And I think that this is really, I think it's really important. Elennor came to me in when
when
after
we were channeling one of the
when
channeling sessions, yeah.
exactly in one of the channel, I was like, "Who are you?" And Jason called her part of the girl gang, and I'm like, "What?" And
It,
so go ahead.
it reminds me of that TV show Sex in the City, or these,
Yeah, the
when,
girl gang.
where,
Yeah.
where the girls get together, and they're very close, and
Yes.
the men are doing these things outside, but it's like they have this own little
Yes.
code between them,
It's
and,
true.
and this girl gang is Pleiadians, and I just found out that it's pronounced Pleiadians,
Oh,
and I've
Pleiadians.
been spelling it wrong too. There's an A
People.
there. So,
Okay.
anyways, and these guys have known each other for a long, long time. So
Well, and and
it's
and there's
you,
also it's me. Go
yeah,
ahead.
a friend that we have,
Here.
literally in the physical of
Yeah.
another human person,
Exactly.
and that we just met recently. It's kind of ironic.
Well, a few years ago, but yes.
Yes, um,
And then Elennor.
and then Elennor, and she has stories. There was a story, and this is very soap opera-ish, but hey, we're gonna dish it out today. That she was promised to this
That
man,
Elennor was promised to this man.
and he was actually in love with our friend who we know,
Yes,
who's very attractive, and she was promised to Eleanor, but this guy was really in love with the other one,
yes.
and the guy actually broke off the relationship
With Elennor.
with Eleanor. They never got together with the third person,
Yes.
and um, there was but there was no hard feelings.
Yeah.
It was kind of traumatic,
Well,
but because it's like the girl code, guy code, girl code.
exactly, exactly.
You don't get mad over men.
Well, which, by the way, is a very evolved thing as opposed to being jealous and wanting to do cat fights.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
these three really love each other.
Well, the three of us, and you say Pleiadians.
Yeah.
Okay, us Pleiadians, we have stuck together for more than one lifetime, and that's one of the things I think is really, really, really important. But our goal is, yes, the men are, no offense, the men are on the outside. Let me just say it that way. But our goal is to help the earth evolve, and we're going to talk about it in the next segment, but I'm going to say right now, all of you Pleiadians, come join us. Come be part of
This
changing the
alliance.
world
Yes.
in it with this alliance in a very positive way.
But
It's time.
there's more drama here.
Oh,
She loves
excuse
to flirt, and
me.
she's flirting with
We're
me.
talking about Elennor.
She talks to me all the time,
Yeah,
and when she talks to me, she'll I get these images of her raising her skirt a little
that's
bit,
right. And by the way, she's very likely, I can't pinpoint it exactly, the late 1700s to the early 1800s. So long skirts, petticoats, and some of my favorite to this day is high lace up or high button boots. So
and she does it right in front of my wife, and she has no shame about that,
not at all.
and but she talks to me in a way that she knows um, she knows all of us are kind of very sexual, that sort of thing. So, but the last part, she's struggled to be accepted by Bashar, Abraham, and Seth.
Well, mostly Bashar, all three of them. But the bottom line is she's going to get there, and
They're from the future, she's from the past,
that is
so
correct.
that's
That's
going to
where I
have
was going.
value. So,
Yes, but remember, we need to know our past so we can understand today and have a better understanding of our future. So, Jason, real quick, tell us about Abraham and Seth.
they've been a kind of a source of stability.
Mhm.
Abraham really likes me. He likes that the male.
Yes, very much.
It's like a bromance. He likes the strength and the courage that we're putting it out there. He loves that. This is kind of, a lot of people won't like what we're doing, and it's change. It's
It is.
we're changing what's
Well,
been commonly accepted, and we do it without regard for what's going to happen as a result.
uh,
And Abraham loves that.
Well, and the other thing is that if you see this change, if you understand it, that it's another perspective of what we're already seeing
Yes.
and what we already know. But when you see that it's a different perspective, wow, there's a lot to it.
Seth is female. She always came through Jane Roberts as male, and
That
we
is correct.
suspect that was because at that point, late 60s, she she had more authority as a male, as
By
opposed
all
to
means.
female. But
By all
she's
means.
definitely a female.
Yes,
She's and she loves to be practical. She loves to say, okay, what's the source of the problem here? But
correct.
here's the most important part of this, okay? That relationship is essential to this type of exchange or channeling.
Correct.
You can't just, most of the channeling that's been done is like, oh my gosh, you're an evolved being. Tell us information, and we just pass it through. that doesn't work. You have to know the personalities, and when you start to know the personalities, then you know strengths, weaknesses, focuses,
Correct.
areas of particular strength, and maybe part that they just don't want to do.
Correct.
It's always a two-way street. In fact, we see very clearly that when we channel them, they are channeling us. So
Yes.
what they can know about the world is limited to what we believe and perceive about the world.
Correct.
That's why they came to us. They want a bigger view that they weren't getting with
From the
Esther Hicks,
others.
Daryl Hannah, and even Jane Robert.
Daryl Anka.
Anka, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah wrote cartoons.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. um,
But remember, it's always a two-way street.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
it's tempting to see these evolved entities like a machine, but
Mm,
they have strong personalities and
yes.
all want to relate to us in a relationship way that is very much like here on Earth.
Yes.
It is the grease or lubrication to provide information that comes through the support of a relationship.
Yes.
Channeling is always a two-way street, and Earth beings provide as much information to these evolved entities as they do to us.
Yes.
We can also help them by clearing and affecting change in ways that they cannot be because of the amazing power of free will. Because
On Earth.
here on Earth, we have that power.
Yes.
This power has been untapped up to now.
Right. In the next segment, we're going to talk all about the areas that we're going to uncover going forward that will change how you think or have thought about how things work. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about all the areas that we're going to uncover going forward that will change how you think or have thought about how things work. Jason, the Alliance. Explain the Alliance if you don't mind, because I know that the Alliance has big plans.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the alliance basically is Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, and now Elennor. And even though they're struggling to accept her and understand the fact that the Bashar, Abraham, and Seth are from the future,
Yes.
Eleanor is from the past. We're here on Earth.
Yes.
We're all going to work together
Yes.
to say, okay, let's uncover misconceptions that is keeping humanity from evolving and going forward.
Exactly.
And um, we want to we all have an agreement that that's what's needed. That's what's
Right.
desired.
Right.
So um, um, so with that in mind, um, it's time to implement the wisdom for real change. But we have to first get our own act together. We're going to do some clearing for all of us so we can work together.
Right.
And then we're going to go and tackle some things. So we can talk about what's next.
Okay, so Jason, what are some of the plans?
Astrology is a rich language regarding energy, and we've only scratched the surface of its potential.
Yes.
Now, if you listen to most astrologers on the internet, there's a wealth of information.
Yes,
but they always refer back to the ancient texts.
Well,
like they're the best, they're the source.
And hence, you have to know the past.
Yes, you have to know the past.
Yes.
But there's a lot more that we don't know. We see in the future that astrologers must be evolved in order to interpret the information in a way that is equally evolved.
Okay.
So that's a biggie. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Here's one that's really close to us, but waking up star seeds.
It's essential, everyone.
Patricia's a Pleiadian, and we have a lot of clients that are part of that soul group, that starseed group.
Yes.
But what you are, what the specific starseed group you're from is not as important, which a lot of the focus on the internet is about that. That's not the important part. The important part is if you're a starseed
Yes.
You came here for a purpose.
Yes.
And what we've seen, and this is the huge piece,
That
is,
it's been blocked.
oh my gosh,
Huge, huge
if
blocks.
you're an evolved starseed and you come through, you're seen and you're targeted, and you've been traumatized typically
Correct.
with stuff in your life
Yes.
that keeps you from moving forward, uncovering who you are,
Correct.
and
Correct.
uncovering what your purpose is and what your mission is
Yes.
that you were sent here to do.
Well, and I have to say, yes, I'm a Pleiadian, but the bottom line is I've always known, even through all the mud and the muck that I have been through, I've always known that I was here for a purpose. And um, believe it or not, I wouldn't, I've been stopped or I've been slowed down. I've never been stopped. I'll back that statement up, but I've never been, or I've been slowed down immensely.
The trauma has been so big for both of us
Yes,
that it's really affected our ability just to just to move forward. And
correct,
it hasn't been for lack of trying,
correct.
but and only since we started using the ecosystem approach 25 years ago,
That's right.
you know,
Actually, more now, but
that
yes,
we created via our intuition using
yeah,
our essence. That was our form of awakening,
yeah,
where we're able to bring this start to see with clarity
yes.
what they're seeing, what Abraham Bass is seeing right now.
Exactly.
Um,
And I will also say Eleanor is also capable of seeing what's going on,
yes,
and she's so excited. But I asked her point blank, where have you been? And she said, no, 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 no. I've been right here. You haven't listened. Well, that's part of the block that I received because until I started doing the ecosystem approach and clearing away negative energy, I couldn't hear.
being part of that soul group for Elennor too, and the fact that you guys have been not only part of that soul group, but you've been together as friends, it's quite a bond.
It
But a
really
lot of
is.
that's forgotten, it's covered up, it's
Yeah.
blocked,
Yes, yes,
it's.
yes, 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 yes. So, well, and there's one more thing
One last thing,
in,
yes.
in
Well, it's
all of this.
and actually there's no limit to the kind
Oh,
of topics that we're going to go for.
no,
So
no, no.
so and if this is speaking to you right now, go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Rohn. We present this show on many different outlets, many different. They're on podcasts, they're on
Correct.
video. Go to our YouTube channel, Jason and Patricia Rohn, The Ecosystem Approach,
In other words, join us.
and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah,
So because we have new and different information there. So the last
exactly.
one is bringing the real power of life force. Oh my gosh,
This is
it's
huge,
one of the
everyone.
biggest misconceptions. We think, oh, they have the power up in the non-physical dimension, and just please give it to us. Please,
Yeah,
grant us, like angels on afar, like a
yeah,
fairy godmother.
right.
But the real truth is, we have the power. We just don't know how to use it.
And we have to uncover it because that negative energy is doing its very best, still, even clear to this minute, to block us from using that power to make Earth the most amazing place in this universe and all of the others.
Because of life force
Yeah.
and
And the free will.
yes, the free will.
I
Oh my
mean,
gosh, it's
it's
huge power. We're going to start talking about that. You may not agree, you may not understand. That's
correct.
okay. But join us.
Yes.
Be connected to us. The other way to do that is our website, theecosystemapproach.org. It's all
Yeah.
one word,
It's
theecosystemapproach.org.
exactly
Go and sign up for our free section. You'll get a biweekly newsletter.
right.
It's be part of this right now. Make that choice,
Well,
okay?
and you have one more thing you want to talk about before we
This seems like it's out in left field. It's really not.
no, it's
We
not.
understand. We've had this connection. Patricia's quite a gardener about what's called regenerative farming. And if you've ever seen some of the pictures, they show you barren land, regenerative farming, organic farming, permaculture, all of these terms. When you use the power of nature,
Correct.
magical things happen. You always see these pictures of barren land on one side and then green lush on the other. And
Correct.
the only difference is they use the power of nature
Use the power of life force.
force to reestablish what could have been there, should have been there
Yes.
originally.
Yes.
The way we farm, the way we um, create food,
Correct.
create and distribute to the world is can be very, very unhealthy
Yes.
because it's been done for profit and for
Well,
there's all sorts of reasons. I don't, yeah,
processing is the number one
processing food. Yeah.
is that's I would clump it all together and say processed food is one of the most dangerous things that we've done to this planet
But
and our and the people.
the most important part of this is that not only can you regenerate the earth,
Yes.
so when you use the power of nature and life force to regenerate the earth, you can do that. But one of the biggest problems we have in the world today is mental health issues that came clear during COVID. You can
People
also regenerate your own mental health
correct.
in by using life force and regenerative process, and that is completely unknown today.
And putting the ecosystem approach in all of it in the mix because it's the best way to remove the negative energy so you can have the clarity that is necessary and needed to see, do I want processed food or do I want natural food? Do I want negative thinking? Do I want positive thinking?
Or do I want to live at this level of my potential when I
Or
can live it at this level of my
exactly,
potential?
exactly,
And that's why we called this the ecosystem approach, because it really
exactly.
is about a natural way for human beings to work with themselves in ways that are really, really powerful.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, we don't have all day to talk about everything. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
The alliance is created to help humanity and create
Yes.
real change in the world.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that gives me butterflies. It will take ideas and bodies of knowledge that have often been discredited and pushed aside by the mainstream and not used.
Correct.
Our food and health needs to improve radically, especially the emotional and mental health part. The secret is the unique energy here on Earth of life force that is largely unknown and unused.
Yes.
Changing the course of humanity will come from the evolved use of this life force and free will. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a new alliance. And again, that's the ecosystem approach with Jason and Patricia Rohn on YouTube.
So, in the next segment, we're going to show you how to do some clearings to help you prepare to evolve and be part of change for humanity and the new alliance. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to show you how to do some clearings to help you prepare and be part of this change for humanity and the new alliance. So I just want to say I've really enjoyed doing the show today.
Oh my gosh, it's exciting for us.
It really is.
You know, if you're feeling excited, we're going to tell you in just a minute how to connect with us so you can stay part of this movement, this
That's
what's
right.
happening here. But what's really important, if you're not excited, you say, it doesn't seem that big a deal. I guarantee you there's some numbness. One of the biggest tools that negative energy uses is a
Correct.
form of numbness, being unable to be excited about anything.
Yes.
It's a form of, I guess you could call it depression.
Sure.
But we see that there's been so much, everything from underarm deodorant to something that's truly different for the world has been so exaggerated that we can't tell the difference anymore.
Or dumbed down.
Dumbed down, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So we want you to feel that there's an energy, there's a passion
Excitement,
that
yes.
just comes out, and if you're lacking in that, whether you feel it in this moment or not, just connect with us. And
Correct.
and the first step of that is to start to remove negative energy. So we're going to
Yes.
tell you how to do that.
Okay, so
First of all, we don't ask you to be in a reverent position.
no.
We don't, you can use the lotus position,
Sure.
and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do it while we're walking. We can be laying down. We can be exercising.
Correct.
We can be, there's no particular posture that you have to have.
Correct.
And um, you just do it in your imagination.
Mhm.
You can actually do it once you get really good at this, do it while you're talking to someone.
Yeah, you can.
Imagine talking to your boss, asking for a raise, and you clearing him and you at the same time.
Exactly. By
That,
the way, it works.
yeah, okay. So,
Yeah.
so, um, um, so all you do is when we say "and to eliminate," that's the verb. In your mind's eye, look at the veils and illusions, the barriers, or the specific emotions, and that's what we usually target.
Yes.
Like hopelessness, numbness,
Yes.
sadness,
Yes. Yes.
and just gather it up in your mind's eye again, in your imagination, from the tips of your toes, gather it up all the way up through it's heart, through your heart. It could be at the top of your head. I do it through my heart
Right.
and push it into the processor. Stefan is going to put the picture of the processor up now, and it's basically it's something that we devised in the non-physical dimension
Correct.
where the negative energy goes in the top, it gets processed and it comes out neutral. It's that simple.
How amazing is that? In other words, something that isn't good comes out, you put it in this, I'm going to say, in this processor, and it comes out neutral. Wow. Not only helps you, but helps the world and everything around you.
We've heard so many strange things about putting it into the earth, putting it into the ends of the universe,
Like green fire.
the green
Yeah.
fire, all those things.
Yeah.
Let's just transform it into something else. It'll be
Yes,
so much.
and make it better and
Yes.
make it better. So, and then after that, we're going to use life force energy. We've already talked about that, the most powerful energy in the world. And we're going to use that as well. We're going to activate it for you, and we can activate it for the room that you're in or the people that are around you as well. So, with all of that said, Jason, are you ready to rock and roll?
Here we go.
All
And
right.
and all these things are written out on our bi-weekly newsletter.
That is correct.
And you get the clearings, a little blurb from me, and a picture of the processor,
Correct.
and what you say for the clearings. It's all there.
Yeah.
You can start doing it on your own.
Yes.
And here are the words. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate. And here's the clearing. The veils and illusions, so I can see when you are doing your purpose and making progress, dark energy finds you and tries to block you, but this can be cleared or removed, especially when you know the motive. Take a breath.
Nice and easy.
Gather up those veils and illusions.
And throw it in the
Processor,
processor.
yes.
By the way, I have to say, I see that negative energy moves easier to the left than it does to the right. But if you don't see it that way, that's okay too.
And to eliminate, oh, your
That's
turn.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
And to eliminate, I'm shortening it up, the veils and illusions, so I can see that dark or negative energy has a playbook or standard methods that they use over and over again. And I can see or perceive those methods and know when that energy is trying to block me. By the way, it's not acceptable. Nice and easy. Pick up that negative energy and throw it in the processor. Jason?
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that free will is an extremely powerful energy that humans can access without restriction or limitation. Oh my gosh, this gives power here on earth that is not present in the non-physical dimension. OMG, that's a radically new thought, and you got it here.
Exactly. Take a breath and blow out any negative energy that are blocking you from your free will. And to eliminate the blocks to the alliance being created by Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, along with Elennor, that has the intention and desire to finally help Earth evolve. Oh, I love this. And develop in a way that has been unknown up till now. And the barriers so I can see I can be part of this if I begin to remove negative energy that is blocking your evolution starting right now. Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow it out. Jason?
So, and you can just take this process, go sign up for our free section right away, and take this clearing statement, and then start clearing the things that are in your way right now: numbness, blondness,
Yeah. Dull.
dull,
Hmm.
um, um, not knowing who you are, not knowing what your purpose is,
Right.
not knowing why you're here. You can, whatever it's blocking you, make a clearing statement and get rid of it.
Yes, exactly.
Here's the last one.
Okay.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see deep inside of myself. If there is a desire to be part of this alliance, I can take action to ensure that I'm a part by subscribing to the channel and signing up for the newsletter
And doing the clearings.
and doing the clearings.
By the way, you can do the clearings over and over again. It's not like
It's
you can
better,
only do it
yes. The
once.
more you do it, the better it
Yes.
is.
Take a nice breath and blow out any veils and illusions that are blocking you from your desire to be part of this alliance. Now we're going to activate life force energy. It goes like this. Follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can, so we can trust for all of us to have huge amounts of power and the ability that have been blocked and covered up by negative energy that needs to be removed to have access to this power right now. Take a breath. I'm sorry. Take a breath and pull in that life force. Pull it in right through the top of your head. Let it go all the way to the tips of your toes. Stop it. You're going to ask it right now to turn around and come back up. This is life force energy. Come up your body, grab a hold of negative energy, and now throw that in the processor. But I have one more if you don't mind, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And to activate life force. So I can use life force energy to be creative and aware and knowing, and have the ability to see what I need in the moment. So I can use this life force energy to not only help myself, but to help others around me go forward and even take care of that negative energy themselves. Pull it in, life force, and blow out any negative energy that's blocking you from this request. Jason?
You know, if you're feeling some of the charge that we're feeling right now,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter when you're listening to this, it could be 3 months from now, it could be
Correct.
next week, it doesn't matter.
It could be today.
There's something really exciting about this.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling it, but you're interested,
Yes.
that's just an indication to me that first of all, you are being blocked by negative energy. We know that everybody has negative energy. We haven't seen anybody without negative
No,
energy.
no,
All
no.
these exalted masters that are walking the earth, that we've looked at them and say, they still, yeah, they all have negative energy. And I guarantee you, if you've listened this long in this show, this far, there's a high chance that you are a starseed
That is correct.
because you're interested in this type of material,
Yes.
you know, and um, it doesn't matter what kind of starseed you are, where you're from, all those things. Those things aren't as important as the fact that you came here with a mission and you've got to figure out what that mission is.
Yes.
And the way you do that is by using the ecosystem approach. So connect with us.
Yes.
This is our 357th show.
Yes.
We have quite a bit of information. We do it every 2 weeks. Continue to watch, continue to connect. Go to our YouTube channel, The Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia Rohn, and subscribe. That's the biggest thing.
Well,
You'll
and
get all sorts of information.
yes.
Like us, please, when you watch the show.
Yes.
We're in a lot of different outlets. Transformation Talk Radio is a big audience for us, and we use them, and they've been very very supportive of what we're doing.
Yes,
But we're also in a lot of different other places.
correct.
So if you're seeing it from those different places, um, please connect. And
And by the way, bring a friend. Have a friend join you, not only to listen to the show, but also to do clearing with. So,
so,
Jason,
and sign up for our newsletter, theecosystemapproach.org. It's free. We just ask for your email.
and stay tuned for our next show. We post every other Tuesday with many shorts in between on our YouTube channel. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach with Jason and Patricia.
Living like an ecosystem is the key to the better life for you.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.